If you've ever ended the month wondering where your money went, even with a great income, this video is for you. Today I'm going to show you how zero-based budgeting works, and more importantly, how to automate it using Sequence so that every dollar has a job and no money gets left behind. Whether you're trying to save more, spend smarter, or just feel more in control of your money, this is a system that can change how you manage money forever. Hey, I'm Nick, and I spent the last decade helping families improve their finances and building tools that help people make smarter decisions with their money. And we specifically built Sequence and designed it so that it can automate your entire cash flow plan. Now thousands of people are using it so that you don't have to think about budgeting every single day. Let me walk you through how I set up a fully automated zero-based budget for a couple that was taking home over $180,000 per year. See, most people get paid, they spend money, and they hope there's something left to save. But zero-based budgeting flips that. You decide in advance where every dollar will go, even your savings and investments. If you bring home $10,000 in a month, you allocate all $10,000 across all the categories: housing, groceries, taxes, savings, fun, giving, you name it. When it's done right, you don't have any money sitting idle or being spent impulsively. Every dollar is working for you. And with Sequence, you can automate that entire process. So let's break down that real world example that I was talking about. This couple that we were working with was bringing home $15,000 per month after taxes. And here's where that money went. It was $5,000 was being spent on their joint spending, things like groceries, gas, shopping. $3,000 was going to their rent. $1,500 was being set aside for tax holdings because part of their income was based on self-employment. Another $1,500 was going to their investments in terms of a brokerage account. They had $1,000 in childcare and tuition costs. They wanted $750 to go to their emergency fund until it was fully built up. Another $750 for travel fund so that they could start to save proactively for the traveling. They wanted $500 to go to a flex plan so that they had some type of money set aside in case they had a few months where there was overspending. They wanted to give $500 per month. $500 on top of that was going to self-improvement, things like courses, book, therapy, and things that they wanted to make sure that they had money set aside for. And that added up exactly to $15,000. Zero left over, zero wasted, so that they had total control over their money. And here's exactly how we set that up inside of Sequence. Now, the first step is to create an income source. That's going to be the new location where all of the paychecks are deposited. So simply create a new income source. And just like that, we have the new account. Again, this is the account with the routing and account number that they're going to have all of their future deposits and paychecks being sent into so that we can start this automation process. Next, we need to create the destination accounts, or what we call pods inside of Sequence. These are purpose-based accounts for joint spending, for rent, tax, you name it. All of these accounts, we are able to create individual accounts with just 2 clicks so that we know exactly where our money's going and we can't overspend in the wrong category. So to create the pods, I'll simply click create a pod, and we need to go through each of their different goals. So now that we've created all of the accounts for each of their goals, and you can see it in a cascading order from joint spending all the way down to the self-improvement fund, what we need to do is now create the rules to send money to each of those accounts. So we're going to start by clicking and dragging to create our rule. And we want to run this rule on the first of every month. Now we can trigger it every single time they get paid, but because of alternating paychecks, we want to set this up as a monthly rule. So we're going to trigger it by date, monthly, on the first of the month. Now, the first rule was we want to send a fixed amount of $5,000 towards the joint spending account. Next, we're going to create another rule. We're going to have $3,000 going towards our rent account. And again, you'll see we can simply click the correct account that we want. Now, the next rule was $1,500 going towards our tax account. After that, we had $1,500 going towards our investments. Next up, we had $1,000 going towards the childcare expenses. After childcare, we had $750 going to the emergency fund. But another great rule that we've got is the top up. Now we can always transfer a fixed amount, a percentage, we can round down, which I'll show you here in a bit. But in this case, we're going to top up. Top up simply means that we can set a destination amount that we want in any account, and it'll continue to fund it until it hits that mark. So it's perfect for an emergency fund. If you want to get your emergency fund up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, we simply put in the amount that we want and how much we want to go each time we transfer money, and it'll continue to contribute towards that account until it hits that amount. Once it does, that money will then move down to the next rule, because all of these rules run in order of priority from top to bottom. So we're going to top up the emergency fund. In this case, they wanted to be at $50,000, and we're going to add a limit of $750 per transfer. Now we could select week or month. In this case, since it's only happening once a month, it's the same thing whether we hit transfer a month, but just to give you an idea of how that works, we've got it set up so that we're good to go. Now we're going to add the next rule, which was $750 to the travel fund. After that, we've got $500 going to the Flex account. After the Flex fund, we've got $500 going towards giving. And finally, we've got $500 going towards our self-improvement fund. Now, these check boxes here, you'll notice, transfer up to the amount. That's best when you have some type of fluctuating income and you don't know if the rule will be able to run entirely. Because if there's not enough money left over for this $500 rule, if there's only $400 in the account, in its current state, it will not run. But if we click transfer up to, it will take as much money as left over and then execute that rule so that money still gets in there, even if it's just a portion. So if you are concerned or you have fluctuating income, you can always transfer up to that amount to ensure that at least some money is able to move into that account if you don't have the full amount that your rule requires. Now, we're going to add one final rule after saving this. I'm going to save this right here. And we're going to add one more pod here, because what we want to do is, because they have a side business that can make some more money, or sometimes they get bonused at the end of the quarter or at the end of the year, and we set up this rule based on the $15,000 of monthly take-home income. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create another pod and just call this our bonus account. And so what I'm going to do with this bonus account is something slightly different, because to accommodate for the potential increase in the side hustle business that they've got, or a quarterly bonus that they may get, or year-end bonus, anytime they might make over $15,000 in a month, we want to make sure that we're setting that money aside to potentially be invested or to pay down debt, to use whatever you may want that money for. But we want to make sure that we're accounting for it, because again, this is zero-based budgeting, so we want to make sure we're accounting for every single dollar. So what I'm actually going to do, all of these rules, as you can see, run on the first of the month. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create another rule to our bonus account. I'm going to trigger this by the date. I'm going to set it to monthly. And then instead of on the first of the month, I'm going to do this on the last day of the month. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our last rule, which is to round down the household income. And so what I want here is I'm going to say anything over $15,000 is going to go to the bonus account. So if there's $16,000 on the last day of the month inside of the income holding account, what's going to happen is that first $1,000, that $16,000 to $15,000, is going to go into the bonus account. What that means is that this is going to continue to pile up in case they get a bonus of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, or they have a great month with the side hustle. That extra money is going to be set aside in the bonus account. And the nice piece about that is, because every other dollar is already accounted for, this can be used for anything. Maybe it's to buy a rental property, or in their case, what they wanted to do was actually be able to send that to their investment account so they could continue to creep up their investment amount every single month, every single year with that extra money, and not let lifestyle creep sneak into their situation, because it's so much easier to spend extra money if you are sending it directly to your joint checking account. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is, as soon as money hits that account, we could do it, or in this case, we could set it for monthly, and on the last day of the month again, what we can do is transfer 100%, a fixed amount, whatever we want. Or in this case, we can transfer a percentage of 100% into the investment account. So now that money will transfer here, and then it'll sit there for a month. And then if it's not used for something else, they can send it over to their investment account. Or maybe they want to put some of that money into their flex fund, just so that they have a little bit extra. All we need to do is say 50% goes to investment and 50% goes to their flex fund, because maybe they want to spend some of that as well. So just like that, we've got this set up. That way the extra income doesn't sit idle, it gets put to work. Now with Sequence running your budget, you stop guessing, you stop overspending, you start building wealth on autopilot. There's no more surprises at the end of the month. Your spending stays aligned with your goals. You feel more confident every time your paycheck hits your account, plus your budget adjusts with any changes that you need. You can simply add or tweak any of these rules at any time as your life changes. If you want a copy of this exact setup that we've made, check out the link below and download the zero-based budget map that we just walked through. You can plug it directly into Sequence and you can be up and running in just minutes. Remember, when every dollar has a job, you'll have total control over your money and you won't need to worry about another budgeting app again.